Right now, you're watching Wave 3 News.
A major apartment fire in Jeffersonville. That fire is spreading from one building to another, and it took firefighters more than 3 hours to get all those flames under control. Now 80 people out of their homes tonight. Good evening, and thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Scott Reynolds. Shannon Cogan has the night off. That fire started in the middle of the afternoon at the Bridgepoint Apartments in Jeffersonville. Investigators still don't know what caused it. Wave 3 News reporter Theo Keith live outside those burned out apartment buildings. He's been there all day. And Theo, where are the victims tonight?
Scott, the Red Cross says they've helped about 50 people at Bridgepoint Elementary School just down the street, but only 6 of the victims are staying there overnight. Many more are staying with family members, and many of them lost everything they own.
I've never been in a fire like this, and it's just horrible.
It was a day of hugs and heartache as the Bridgepoint Apartments burned and burned.
Women were banging on all the doors. There's a fire, there's a fire. So I grabbed my granddaughter and I run out here. And then we've been sitting here for the past hour and a half or so watching our homes be burned.
One woman jumped from a window to escape the fire. She got hurt, but only slightly. Everyone got out.
It's hard because you've lost everything, and it's just so many families.
Firefighters saved several pets. Some needed extra attention because of the smoke, but Deborah Allen didn't know about hers.
I have 2 cats, and I'm worried to death that they're going to die in there.
Some of the 45 firefighters faced down a wall of smoke. More attacked from the air as flames shot through the roof of both buildings. Chief, what made this fire so difficult to fight?
The wind made it an obstacle, and another thing that made it so tough is upon our arrival, it was already fully involved.
The chief says it's the most damage he's seen in a while. Some of the apartment units are a complete loss, leaving dozens of people without a home.
They're going to be displaced for quite a while, obviously, as severe as the damage is right now.
The smoke made it hard to see, but you couldn't miss the sadness.
It's a day to remember, so you won't be able to forget it.
Jeffersonville's chief was pretty confident earlier that the fire started in the corner unit of that building you're looking at there, but he said he did not know the cause at that point. Live in Jeffersonville, Theo Keith, Wave 3 News.
With breaking news happening now, this is Wave 3 News.
A major apartment fire in Jeffersonville on Viking Drive injures at least 1 person. The smoke and fire ripping through 2 two-story buildings, going through the roof, damaging dozens of apartment units.
This is happening at the Bridgepoint apartment complex that is in the 1900 block of Viking Drive. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Shannon Cogan.
And I'm Scott Reynolds. We've kept you updated by breaking into programming this afternoon, so let's get the latest from the ground. Wave 3 News reporter Theo Keith gathering that information. What have you learned there, Theo?
Scott, the fire is still burning. Thick black smoke still billowing from the top of one of these apartment buildings. It's been going for 2.5 hours now. Firefighters say when they arrived here on the scene at 2:30 this afternoon, 2 buildings, both buildings here at the Bridgepoint Apartments that are on fire now, they were burning when they rolled up. All 48 units are affected here at this apartment building. 80 people are out of a home, we are told. Everyone got out safely when this fire broke out, but the police department says 1 person was hurt. Have a listen.
Right now we have 1 person that has been reported injured, a minor injury from a fall as she escaped her 2nd floor window. My understanding is that she is okay, just a minor injury.
You can see live pictures now that firefighters continue to work on the roof of this building. We still see flames billowing up from the roof. They are working on a firewall in the middle of the building, trying to make sure that the fire does not move past that, so they are trying to contain it. Meanwhile, down the street, the Red Cross has set up a shelter at Bridgepoint Elementary. Again, about 80 people may be using that shelter for some time later today. Water being provided to those people, also clothing for some of them as well. We'll continue to monitor developments here, and we'll bring you all the latest. Live in Jeffersonville, Theo Keith, Wave 3 News.
Theo, what have you learned?
Shannon, the fire is finally mostly contained. Let me bring you up to date on how it happened. About 15 minutes ago, we heard a huge crash. That part of the building you see there came falling down as firefighters continued to shoot water at it from the air. Luckily, no firefighters were underneath there. You can see from the air as this fire continued to burn earlier. They put an enormous amount of water on this fire. It's been burning for 3.5 hours. Firefighters updated us just a little while ago. They do not have a cause yet, but they do know the general area where the fire started. When they got here, it had already spread to a second apartment building. Firefighters used a fire wall as part of their strategy to contain this fire as it moved down the length of one of the buildings. Here is the chief talking about that strategy. Chief, what made this fire so difficult to fight?
The wind made it an obstacle, and another thing that made it so tough is upon our arrival, it was already fully involved. It was from the bottom floors all the way to the second floors of both buildings on the corner units were fully involved.
Women were banging on all the doors. There's a fire, there's a fire. So I grabbed my granddaughter and I run out here. And then we've been sitting here for the past hour and a half or so watching our homes be burned.
Deborah Allen is one of those 80 people whose homes have been burned, and she is out of her home. You're looking live at the charred out remains of both of these apartment buildings. No one is getting back in for at least some time, the fire chief tells us. The Red Cross has stepped in. They have set up a shelter down the road at the Bridgepoint Elementary School. One person, I want to tell you, was injured when she jumped from a balcony trying to escape the fire. She's been treated and released. No other people have been injured. Fortunately, no firefighters have been injured. However, we have learned that some pets have probably died in the fire.